It is depressing to me that they made their offense still look good without Jordan Love. It was really upsetting. I didn't enjoy watching it, especially as like all the Caleb Williams and my Chicago Bears narratives sort of unfolded. They're playing the Vikings this week, and I think that that's a really interesting game because I think Love might be back. The noise sounds like there's a good chance that he's going to be back. The Vikings, I think, are in the vein of the Saints, where I think we're going to see what the Vikings are actually all about in a few weeks. And I think Sam Darnold is still Sam Darnold. I think the conversation's like, oh, well, he just needed a second bite of the apple. Like no, I don't think so. I really don't. I don't think that he's the guy. I think he's got the best wide receiver in the league, which I think will make everybody look like a little bit better. But I think that that's a pretty flawed Vikings team. And I think that they're really well coached though. So we'll see what happens between them and Green Bay. It's an old adage on this show. We'll know a lot more after this week.
We'll know a lot more. Yeah.
We'll know a lot more after this week. But I think it's one of the more interesting divisional conference NFL matchups that we're going to see this week as far as like which teams
Jordan Love might be a tough motherfucker if he's coming back from his injury this fast.
Yeah.
I had doubts about him, but
I don't think he looked good before he went down, but I also am willing to give everybody a mulligan on that bullshit Friday game, where like I thought his footwork looked really bad, but I think like the way the field was, like I think he was probably just trying to like not die, and then like he almost failed. So I think we're gonna see what the Packers are all about. But they're obviously a well coached team if they were able to put together that offensive performance as they did this current week. Any hot takes on the Packers guys and anything? Anything I'm
they
missing?
can look like that with Malik Willis. I'm intrigued to see what we got.
I know he's not good, but I also know the Titans are good. So if we're gonna do like weight of wins,
and the Colts aren't good.
Yeah, I mean,
the Colts aren't good.
We really should have beaten the fucking Colts. That was fucking depressing. Everybody could run on.
Well, that wasn't really a shot at you, but I mean,
it feels.
The thing would be is that it feels like that this is like the next iteration of a new offensive system that anyone can just jump into it. It's not to the extent of like a Shanahan offense right now, but
I don't know how true that is. If they had to play Malik Willis for the next like 8 weeks, you really think that like teams wouldn't just find ways, like they would like.
I don't know.
Game tape
He's
away.
That same coaching tree though. He's the same coaching tree as Shanahan and.
True. I don't know if you said 8 games with Malik Willis, I think that they would go 5-3, and I think that is fucking massive.
Yeah, well, I mean that math makes sense. That maths because they went 2-1, essentially. Jordan Love and a little bit of Malik Willis. So yeah, it makes sense. The maths. It's just I get sad when I'm talking about that being good again. Okay, fine, whatever.
You mean still?
No. Last couple of years of Aaron Rodgers were nice. I didn't mind those so much. I could see it was starting to sort of fall off. I knew they weren't going to win any Super Bowls or anything. Like that was good. They've been winning things my whole goddamn life. All right, let's come on to talk about the Ravens. They smashed the Cowboys.
The controversial Ravens.
They smashed the Cowboys. Mike, are you saying it's stupid because do you think they're too low?
No, because they're on the fucking list. Yeah,
I think it's stupid they're on the list. They looked really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
They beat a shitty team. You just established that the Dallas Cowboys are not a good team.
But then they were also like a toe away from beating
a toe away from beating the Chiefs. And
they had one bad week. They've looked good 2 out of 3 weeks, and they're clearly good on paper.
Are the Falcons on this list?
You think the Falcons over
the Falcons? The Falcons.
They just barely lost to the Chiefs.
We should have talked about the Falcons.
Well, we can still do it. It's not like
the Falcons do it. Pretty
good. Gonna scrap the whole thing. I think. Listen, my
the Falcons probably should be on the list over the Saints, if anybody.
The Falcons look pretty good.
I'd probably have a fucking aneurysm if the Falcons and the Ravens were on up, but the Seahawks weren't. But I think that you're putting the Ravens on this list because of what you think they can be, what they should be, but not because of what they are. And that's my big fucking problem with
what do you mean? What they are is I was watching Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry go fucking bananas for the entire day.
They're 1 and 2.
That's what they are, though. That's what they are.
Like their team is stacked, bro.
Right. So they should be better. That is what you're saying.
They should be
2-1.
They are going to be better. I promise you, they're going to be better. What are you saying? You're saying that you should put the whole fucking integrity of the power rankings on a knife's edge because you're going to take the Ravens out knowing they're coming back into the power rankings. You know they're going to finish the season in the top 10.
They play the Bills. They play the Bills this weekend, so we're gonna learn a lot more. But
we're gonna learn a lot more. But they were saying it in perpetuity, and then they died. That's gonna be the story of that catchphrase.
But I'm telling you, the Ravens aren't going anywhere. That's why they never came off the list.
They're not. They're gonna have to be put back on in like a week.
Right. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
If I promise you this, Mike. I promise you this. If they lose to the Bills in any way glaring fashion, if it's a tight game, I'm still gonna be making my same stance on the Ravens, and I'm sure you're
1-3. And then they're gonna play.
I know, and you're gonna have the same opinion there, and we'll bring you back on.
We'll bring you.
Yes. Okay. They have a tough schedule. Actually, I'm not realizing
they do. They do.
They're fucking. They're gonna. If they're 1-4, they can't be on the power ranking.
They won't be. Yeah.
If they're 1-3, they probably can't be either.
If you agree to draw the line there,
yeah, 1-3.
It's fine.
I think 1-3, you kind of can't be in the top 10. That's going to be rough for them. If they do win, though, that's big if true. Big if true. Do come back to talk about the Ravens. We love having you.
Yes, I'll be here.
The Lions. Something's up.
Something's up.
Something's up. It doesn't look right. I was high on them
so
into the
fucking
season.
wild.
I know that. What you don't agree?
I mean,
well, it depends on where you rate the Cardinals, right? Like if kind of scraping by against the Cardinals, right? Like, what does that say? Are you high on them? Marvin Harrison Jr., Kyler. You said you weren't high on Kyler, so it's like they should have beat that team by more. No.
Yes, I think they should have beat the Cardinals by more. I think that Tampa's a really good team. Like I think we're learning a lot about them. I do. I think they're going to be 9 or 10 wins. That's what we think, right? We didn't have the NFC this year, but that's what they thought.
8 or 9.
So like, sure, okay, 8 or 9. Sorry, yeah. Then they're 4 points away from being 3-0, and we're not talking about this. Something's off. I'm just doing
the eye test here. I'm just looking at them. They don't look as dynamic. Like the whole, pass to Amon-Ra over the middle.
They didn't score in the second.
Yeah, like just Amon-Ra St. Brown over the middle breaks a tackle, like makes a guy miss, peels off for 40 yards. Not there.
Not to bring everything back to the fucking Ravens, but if you would just allow me, the Ravens let up 19 points in the fucking fourth quarter, and you weren't talking about how bad they look. Or something looks off. You're
because
like,
it was garbage.
Man, this team is
garbage
time.
Because it was garbage time.
Garbage time against garbage.
It's fucking garbage time. So it doesn't matter. It just doesn't have as much impact as the real game, like the actual competitive part of the game. Where, like, I just watched. Here's the thing. I watched the Ravens for 3 quarters look scary going downhill, and fun, Mike. It's fun to be high on the Ravens. Like, try it. It's fucking fun. They have Derrick Henry now. It's fucking crazy. They really look wildly good. And they literally beat a Dallas team by being like, we'll never, ever have to throw the ball, ever. And I think you're right. They should take that into the rest of their games. I don't think that their winning formula is making Lamar Jackson throw a bunch of times. I don't. But I don't know. With the eye test, the Lions, I think the Lions can turn it around. I think the Lions can definitely start to look explosive again, but they look a beat behind so far. I think we can all agree on that. No, Bobby?
Yes.
See? Well, I don't know. Where would you put the Lions, Mike?
I would put them. I think they're in the right spot. I just don't think that the 3 teams below them are the right 3 teams.
It's controversial below them. We talked briefly about the Vikings. Anything more to add on them?
No. I mean, if they can hold it up, if they can hold this together, Hawkinson's going to be back in 2 weeks. I don't know.
Prediction for that.
Darnold might be out. Darnold might be out this week, though.
Is he?
So is your boy Dobbs in? Is he going to be the MVP and the elite player that
Apparently
he was last year? Apparently
they can play with any quarterback. Apparently they're good with any quarterback. That's the system there in Minnesota. So
the KOC system. That's what they do.
Yeah, they don't even give a shit. I could go in there tomorrow and I'd be throwing dots to Justin Jefferson apparently. But I don't know. I'd love a prediction from both of you in that Packers-Vikings game because I do think they're a little enigmatic still. So it'll give me a little bit of a vibe of where you guys.
I'd like to know if Jordan Love is playing.
If Jordan Love plays,
let's say Darnold and Love play.
All right, Packers by 10.
Bobby,
Packers by 10. I'm gonna go Vikings by 3.
with both QBs healthy, Vikings by 3.
Vikings by 3.
I might lean Vikings there too, but that's because I always want the Packers to win.
After what they look like against Texans, and the Texans, I still regard them very, very.
Yeah, we'll
good.
see how that math works out, right? Like maybe the Texans are still good, and that just meant that they played a good team.